Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra, with me Shail Bhatnagar, and we are back after a day's holiday. It's Friday today. So far this week, we've actually seen that the Nifty has been seeing a lot of volatility, currently locked in a 250-point range to 24,350 on the upper side and 24,100 on the downside. Now, for the week, the Nifty is now down about 0.8%. It's on course for the third straight weekly loss, something that it's not seen since July and August of last year as well. Now, we actually do see that the market momentum is dwindling because there are lack of triggers, lack of participation in the markets. We are at the fag end of the earnings season. So now, everything will be back to on valuations and how the global markets also are rallying. And of course, the focus will shift onto September's rate cut expectation as far as the US Fed is also concerned. Good morning to all our viewers and good morning, Shail.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. After a one-day rest, which was yesterday, the market is looking at a gap up thanks to very, very strong cues coming in from Wall Street, and we are also looking for a weekend which is ahead of us. As always, there is a lot of excitement in the market. Let's try and decipher that. As Sakshi's pointed out, this is most likely, apart from the gap up, a third week of losses as far as the Nifty is concerned. Let's, as usual, start with the daily chart right there in front of you. What's unusual this part? See, apart from the gap up that is coming because of the cues that are on Wall Street, a very strong Asia, Japan is up 3%. There is a huge spike as far as Wall Street is concerned over the last 1 week. Wall Street has shown Nasdaq rising 7.5%. That's the best performing index during the week. Globally, S&P 500 is up 5.8% and the Dow is up 4%. Sakshi will tell you the reasons behind that, but let's get back to the Nifty. So with those strong cues in mind, now please listen to carefully what I have to say. So the Bank Nifty and the Nifty will open up with a gap up. The crucial point is, will this gap up sustain? Remember, for the 2 weeks before this week that started on Monday, we were falling because of global reasons. There was weakness globally and therefore we were slipping as well. There was the crisis between US dollar and Japanese yen that caused a downslide, and at this point of time, over the last 3 trading sessions, our problems, local problems, which is the Hindenburg crisis, 2, sustained profit booking happening from foreign institutional investors, 3, mediocre earnings, and frankly the Sensex was up very sharply. August first highs on the Nifty were 25,078. At the moment at 24,143. The index is down 875 points or 3.5%. The Bank Nifty is even worse. You've seen a high of 53,350. This was on July 4th. At the moment, the Bank Nifty is at 3-month lows. These values you've seen earlier in June 11th. So from that point, which is July 4th, to this point, the index has lost 3,600 points. That is down 6.8%. Now the Bank Nifty is testing its 100-day moving average. Remember, it closed below that, so that turns out to be a very major resistance for it. And of course, the Nifty over the last 7 trading sessions has tested the 50 EMA. Let's hope that it holds and the gap up that we see today remains in place. So this is what is as far as the Bank Nifty is concerned. Volumes will be low today only because we are headed towards the weekend. Now, what is in demand? It's pharma and it's IT. I'll request the PCR to fire both indices for you. IT stocks are in heavy demand because Nasdaq has sort of moved very rapidly, and more importantly, you see a huge number of buybacks lined up by major IT companies. Remember, they are debt free. Remember, they are doing extremely well on the charts, and the IT index over the last 1 month or so has been one of the best performers, up about 15%. The pharma index has done phenomenally well over the last 2-3 weeks or so, up about 15-16%. The index is right there in front of you, and that's driven because a lot of money that was booked out of frontline Nifty counters, booked out of defense companies, booked out of PSU companies, has moved into pharma stocks. So we see fresh inflows coming into pharma index, which is the top performer over the last 1 month or so. What are the stocks that I'm watching? Well, the Hindustan Zinc open offer comes up for subscription for institutional clients today. The company is trying to raise 7600 crore rupees. The ones for retail will be opening on Monday. The price is at 486 rupees per share. If you look at the Hindustan chart right there in front of you, it's sort of corrected very sharply. Remember, it was at 806 rupees on May 22nd, and it is down 27% from that time. It has taken 58 sessions to reach that level. Remember also that Hindustan Zinc has a very low float available in the market, and that is probably one of the reasons why this OFS is to be looked forward to, because it will impart liquidity to daily trading as far as Hindustan Zinc is concerned. Globally, we have seen the metals coming under very heavy selling pressure. I'll request the PCR to show you the chart of copper futures from a high that was seen in July of about $9.75. It is now sub $7, and in the past 4 or 5 trading sessions we've seen signs of renewed enthusiasm as far as copper is concerned. Keep this in mind. Remember, on Wednesday we had a problem in the metal space. A Supreme Court decision retrospectively allowed states where a lot of metal companies have mines to charge royalty and other fee over the last 20 years. So that's a pain point. Despite stunning set of numbers from Hindustan Copper, the counter came under selling pressure. That's the reason why I've showed you copper, as also because of Hindustan Zinc. The second stock that is to be looked forward to is Glenmark Pharma. First quarter profit has surged 7 times to about I think the number is 370 crores. Please keep an eye out on this one. Sakshi will give you more details. Margin has improved dramatically. Now comes the stock price right there in front of you. The stock has appreciated 50% since 24th of May. So despite stunning set of numbers, there is most likely profit booking that you will see. So these are the two stocks that I am watching, Hindustan Zinc and of course Glenmark. Losses for the first quarter at Ola Electric have expanded. Remember, it got listed last week, as also Polyplex. Keep an eye out on this one. This is a counter that was suggested by Sharad Avasthi of SMIPS. It's doing extremely well. The numbers are dramatically higher. Sakshi will give you the details. Let's get back to her. Sakshi, what happened on Wall Street? What are the chances of a rate cut? How did the market end? And what is there to look forward to from the US markets?
Absolutely, Shail. So in the United States, markets have closed higher after the recent economic data has eased the recession fears. Initial jobless claims for the week ended August 10 also dropped to 2,27,000 from 2,33,000 the previous week. So that's a bit of the positive. And of course, the retail sales increased 1% in July so far, surpassing the estimate from Dow Jones that a forecast of a 0.3% uptick. So those are the key details on the back of which we have had 2 days of gains for the US markets, Wednesday as well as on Thursday as well. So we'll be reacting to both of these. The Nasdaq has surged to 2.3% as of Thursday night. The Dow Jones increased by about 1.4% and the S&P 500 advanced by about 1.6%. Remember, the US 10-year yield also hovered around 3.9%. Gold futures consolidated around $2,500 mark, while the WTI crude oil futures eased to $78 a barrel mark as well. The Asian markets were also active, driven by Wall Street's performance. The Nikkei led with a gain of about 2.76%. Followed by the Kospi, and of course we did see that the gains were also seen in Hang Seng Shanghai as well. Hang Seng especially 1.48%, and the GIFT Nifty is also indicating to a gap up start of about 159 odd points at 24,333. Now we'll just have to see whether that's a gap up, even if it happens, sustains through the trading session or not. Now as far as the foreign flows are concerned, foreign institutional investors have again sold shares worth about 2,595 odd crore rupees as of Wednesday. We've actually seen this as the third straight session of the sell-off by the FIIs. The domestic institutional investors, however, purchased shares worth about 2,236 odd crore rupees. This was for the ninth straight session that we saw the purchase from the DIIs. Of course, as a lot of stocks you've highlighted Shell, I'll be giving some more details to all our viewers. Ola Electric, remember the first earnings coming in after the company got listed on the exchanges. The company has reported a net loss of 347 odd crore rupees. This is compared to 267 odd crore rupees year over year. The company has said this is on the back of price cuts as well as higher expenses that the company has had to incur. Revenues, however, increased by 32.3% to 1644 odd crore rupees, and the EBITDA losses narrowed to 205 odd crore rupees versus 218 crore rupees previously. So we'll see how the stock really reacts to that. Glenmark Pharma, strong set of numbers. Profits jumping ninefold to 340 odd crore rupees from 37.7 crore rupees. This was on strong operating numbers with a fall in input cost, finance cost as well. Revenue grew by 7% to 3,244 crores. We've also seen the finance cost falling to 39.6 crores. Exceptional item also at nil versus the loss of 52 crore rupees that was reported earlier. SpiceJet came out with the numbers. Consolidated YOY numbers show that profits fell by 20% to 158 crores. We've seen the revenue decline by 14.7% as well for the company, and the other income jumping to 369 crores versus 263 odd crore rupees. Finance cost easing, which is a good thing, 87.9 crores versus 122.8 crore rupees earlier. The board has also approved raising of 3,000 crores through a QIP as well. We'll keep an eye out on SpiceJet therefore. Max India came out with its numbers. Consolidated YOY numbers show loss has doubled to 26.9 crores, and the revenue has plunged by 34.8% to 26.5 crores. So there could be some weakness on that front. Pitti Engineering, we've seen a Q1 consolidated YOY number. The profit has zoomed 47% to 20.5 crores for the company. Revenue has also grown by 32% to 382 odd crore rupees as well. Sakti Sugars is going to be in focus. Consolidated YOY numbers show that the profit has plunged 30% to 57.9 crore rupees. Revenue, however, grew by 5.5% at 393 odd crore rupees. KNR Constructions is another one. Q1 YOY consolidated numbers show profit has jumped by almost 25% to 166 odd crore rupees. Strong operating numbers. Revenue has risen by 0.4% to 985 odd crore rupees. And also Hinduja Global Solutions is going to be in focus. Consolidated YOY numbers show that the loss stands at 57 odd crore rupees as against a profit of 16.6 crore rupees a year ago. Now, the revenue here has slipped by almost 4% to 1,091 odd crore rupees. Again, apart from this, we are also going to be in focus of some other stocks like Hindustan Zinc, where Shell has also highlighted the promoter Vedanta will now be selling a 3.17% stake in Hindustan Zinc via offer for sale from August 16 to 19, and this offer for sale includes a base size of 1.22% and an oversubscription option of 1.95%. The floor price for the offer is set at 486 rupees per share, and the offer will be open for non-retail investors on August 16, that's today, and for retail investors as on August 19. Tata Steel is going to be in focus. The company acquired 115 odd crore rupees shares or worth $182 million of its Singapore-based subsidiary T Steel Holdings, and the strategic move aims to strengthen its international presence and operational efficiency as well. So those are some of the numbers that we'll be keeping a keen eye out on Shell.
Ladies and gentlemen, 8:47, we will shortly be joined by Mr. Mayuresh Joshi, Head of Equity Research, William O'Neill, India, and of course a little later from 9 a.m. onwards, we'll see Aditya Agarwal, Head of Derivatives and Technical Research at Sanctum Wealth, looking after the technical part of the market today. Sakshi, it takes me a lot of hard work over the weekend to give you a list of companies in the IT space that have decided to now come up with an with a buyback. Remember the budget that was presented on July 23rd made profit made by buyback of shares taxable from October 1st, 2024 onwards. But before that, if a buyback comes, then obviously you can not only benefit your shareholders but also avoid that taxation at the hands of the people who make money. So you have buyback meetings in the next how should I say 10 odd days by Tata Consultancy Services, HCL Technologies, Tech Mahindra, Wipro, Infosys. These are the ones from the tech space. Remember, 99% of all tech companies are debt free and they have huge cash chests which actually bring down their overall EPS. So if you buy back your shares, you reduce the float. Therefore, even if you make the same amount of profit, your EPS goes up because the denominator decreases. Remember, EPS is earnings per share divided by price of the share. So profit divided by price of share. So if the profit remains the same but number of shares go down, then the EPS rises, therefore the stock price also goes up. Apart from that, companies such as L&T, Bharti Airtel, Dr. Reddy's and Grasim have also announced their plans to have a buyback for the date. So we don't know the size of the buyback, but these companies will be, their boards will be discussing this buyback. So please keep these stocks in mind as far as prices are concerned. And the other segment, when you look at the pharma space, which has rallied very sharply, a lot of record highs and a lot of continued momentum in counters such as Granules India. In the last 3 months, Granules is up 67%, Aurobindo Pharma is up 30%, Lupin is up 27%, Torrent Pharma is up 26%, and the first quarter earnings of all these counters has improved dramatically. So it's both a defensive play, which means that money which was booked from aggressive players has come into pharma, and the companies have also outperformed. I think, Sakshi, we are waiting for Mr. Mayuresh Joshi for us, and I'll request the PCR to fire the chart of Bhikaji Foods, and only for Mayuresh I have arranged for this Bikaneri Bhujia. A very warm welcome to you, Mayuresh, and thank you for this amazing stock pick. You've been tracking Bhikaji Foods from 470 rupees. It is now at 835. The high was 870. Sakshi, I can't send Bhujia to you in the studio, but on your behalf, I will also have it with a hot cup of coffee. Mayuresh, for you, Bhikaji Bhujia.
Morning, Shail sir. Morning, Sakshi. In fact, in the food and beverages list, I think its peer Haldiram has been voted as the best brand by one of the leading brand agencies. So, yeah.
So, what of Bhikaji Bhujia from now on? Let me enjoy a spoonful before you give us some inputs on that one.
आपके लिए शैल सर बम्बई में जाएंगे तो I'll get a new flavor. So एक बढ़िया flavor introduce किया है. So I'll get that one for you and you can carry one for Sakshi back.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Very good morning to you, Mayuresh, and good to have you with us. I wanted to first get an understanding from you. We've had an entire week, 10 days of extremely volatile period in the markets. This was thanks to the Hindenburg research report that created that stir, the global rout in terms of the recessionary fears that we've been seeing, and of course the geopolitical crisis that have been rising as well. And of course the earnings have actually not sprung up as much a surprise as we were hoping for. How have you read through the sentiment in the market? Do you think there is an absolute lack of trigger that could pull the markets from or beyond that 25,070 odd mark that we've already seen on the Nifty?
Morning, Sakshi. No, you're absolutely right. I think the three major factors that the market was tracking over the last few days, the yen carry trade, the unwinding of that is largely done with. The there are various data points in the US which is pointing out to a mixed economic condition out there. So it's very difficult to call whether there will be a hard landing recession or a soft landing recession at this point of time. But as data points are evolving and as consumer trends might come back with expectations now firmly in place that September there will be a Fed rate cut that will come through. That probably augurs well in terms of how discretionary spending patterns might evolve over the next few quarters and rule out a hard mandate recession as well. The third aspect is still an unknown on what happens on the geopolitical front, specifically when it comes to Iran and its allies and Israel as well. But whatever we've been reading through reports, the approach or the retaliation might be a calibrated one. So let's see how that goes about. When it comes to the domestic context, yes, earnings have been patchy. But again, I think one must understand that we are coming off a very, very high base post-COVID for the last 2 financial years. So this year is going to be a year which is a year of normalization. You can't expect fireworks as far as earnings is concerned. But with better monsoons expected this time round, and as the trends are evolving, rural-oriented sectors should start seeing a comeback, which largely have been lagging over the last few quarters as well. So as rural discretionary spending comes back in the second half, you should see some recoupment in earnings happen in the second half, and a substantial one for the domestic-oriented sector, along with export sectors, as we head into the next year as well. So I think a 12-14% earnings growth is quite reasonable for one to expect as far as Indian markets are concerned. In terms of other macros, the expectations in terms of the GDP number is expected to be a stable one. Taxes, both direct and indirect, are growing at a good and a healthy pace. And therefore, I think macros should also stand up in the Indian context. Domestic flows remain extremely strong. And therefore, at some point of time, the foreign ownership, which is hit, again, one of the lowest levels as we see, both in terms of the index holdings as well as the broader markets. With rate cuts expected to come through, there should be some substantial flow coming through. As far as India is concerned, among the emerging pack, which has remained extremely resilient and expected to remain resilient. So on that note, not expecting a huge structural downside for the markets. There will be select pockets within the domestic cyclical sectors, which should, in my opinion, still keep on doing well as far as earnings is concerned. So focus on domestic sectors at this juncture, Shakti. I think that's a ideal way of looking at the markets.
Okay, Mayuresh, now thankfully what has happened is that the go-go trade, you know, people calling up on a daily basis, आज कुछ बता दो, कुछ करना चाहते हैं, we've missed the rally, that is over. It's a pause. Yeah. People are now reflecting, and there are local problems and of course there are global problems. Given this background in mind, it is a good hunting ground for stock pickers such as you. Although prices may not have corrected to levels that you like. Now sure. Tell us 3 or 4 stocks that you think merit a buy for the long term. अभी मेरे को आज कल परसों का नहीं पूछना. For the long term, say 1 year, 2 years time frame, which people, our viewers, can get into at current levels, or at least keep them on the radar. Maybe 2 or 3 stocks that you would want, except for Bikaji Foods, which has gone up 100%.
No, absolutely, Shail sir. I think when I was speaking about domestic cyclical sectors, one stock that should be on your watch list and which is on Marketspace India's watch list as well is Praj Industries. Now, again, I think it's an entire proxy, not in terms of how the sugar sector is just evolving or is expected to evolve. Obviously, the 2G, 3G ethanol plants, their expertise thereof is very well known. But I think they are getting into a lot more other products in terms of their R&D. So as an example, in terms of diesel blending, is what we've heard. That if the government embarks at some point of time on that front, they are evolving technologies based on that front. They are evolving technologies based with a foreign subsidiary, with a foreign company, in terms of having technologies for airline turbine fuel as well. So I think the blending in ATF can be a huge market, not just domestically, but in export markets or global markets as well. They're looking at Formula One racing cars as well, in terms of how optimal use can happen in terms of fuels without affecting performance, and marine fuels as well. So I think a lot of research has probably gone into this, along with their engineering division, which is into the high purity segment, water treatment, which is going to be a huge value addition. in the next few quarters as well. In the quarter gone by, the margins were very, very good at 13.16 odd percent. They're sitting on a reasonable order book of more than 4,500 crores. Balance sheet is quite strong and decent as well. And therefore, I think it becomes an entire proxy for the domestic cyclical story in general. So I think this is one stock that I'll definitely keep on my watch list. One other story that we probably would like to keep on our watch list is Capacite Infra as well. Again, as a real estate proxy, order book quite strong. They're executing for public sector enterprises, which is more than 60% of their order book, and around 40% for private players as well. High-rise structures is their specialty, and therefore I think with vertical rises, that is expected to grow even further as we head into the next few quarters and years for India. Their order book is expected to burgeon even more. Again, balance sheet dynamics, earnings growth story expected to remain very, very strong and stable as well. The third aspect obviously is going to be this entire water treatment and entire scheme of things as far as pipeline network is also concerned. And therefore, the Welspun group of stocks, if they correct, both Welspun Enterprises and Welspun Corp individually. Welspun Enterprises has a huge presence as far as water treatment is concerned. Welspun Corp, in terms of laying of those pipelines, you're expected to see pipelines to the tune of 17 to 18,000 odd kilometers getting put forth just to increase the CGD network that the government has in place, target has in place from 6% to 15% over the next few quarters. Again, strong group, strong balance sheet dynamics will mean earnings remain extremely stable. So I think a few of these stories should be kept on your watch list where earnings should continue doing well enough.
Okay, we welcome both Mayuresh and Aditya with a 275-point uptick on the Nifty. I wish it happens 24,416. We close the day here. Enjoy the Friday with Bikaji Foods and then maybe look forward to Rakhi on Monday. With that, ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to happen. Let me just look at markets. TCS, 3.6% higher, 154 rupees up. 44.50. Please keep IT in mind. This is really going to do very well over the next 1 or 2 months. Okay. What else? Axis Bank 2% higher, 11.77. ICICI Bank a percent higher, 11.73. Okay. Now let's look at the heavyweights. Reliance flat as flat can be, 29.23. Let's look at Infosys, 2 rupees 75 higher, 18.26. This is a modest uptick. I don't think that the market is really appreciating the buyback news. And of course, HDFC Bank, thankfully, 1 rupee 20 higher at 16.08. The group eternally in news, Adani. Out of 10 stocks, 9 are opening in the green. The top gainer is Adani Enterprises at its 200 DMA, 3100. There's a red tick on Ambuja Cement, nothing to be worried about. Let's very quickly move into NSE 500. The Nifty is still up 190. Okay. What's looking good in terms of names? Bharti Airtel 2.9% higher, 15.15. Hindustan Copper at 310, almost 3.7% higher. There is a green tick on Balaji Amines, 2% higher, 21.68 from the chemical space. Pharma is represented by Eris Life Sciences, 5% higher, 1234. And of course, you have a mild green tick on Oil India as well, 2% higher. In terms of most actives, you have BEML 3.7% higher, 37.65. National Aluminium in the green, 3.4% higher, 171. And I want to see what Hindustan Zinc is doing. Okay, 10% lower at 514. Remember, the institutional price for the offer for sale of 11% equity is at 486 rupees. So keep this in mind. And I'd just like to see what's happening on Glenmark Pharma. Then Sakshi will speak to Aditya. Okay, Glenmark Pharma at the moment is flat at 1492. Sakshi, what are you watching?
Well, Aditya, let's welcome you first and get you to also talk about any 2 stocks that you were thinking of, and then we'll get down with the drill of asking you the questions.
Morning, Sakshi. Morning, Shilendra. Well, I mean, if we see Nifty is not doing anything for last eight trading session. It is trading in the same band of 500 points. 23,900 on lower side, 24,400 on higher side. Again, today we are opening on the higher side of the band. So we need to see if Nifty is breaking this band on higher side. If Nifty sustains and break this band on higher side, then we can see some further rally, and Nifty may move towards 24,700, 750 levels. As far as stocks are concerned, we are bullish on IT and couple of private sector banks. We are bullish on L&T Mindtree. If we see this stock, it has a very good strong support around 5,200, 5,300 levels, and from those levels, we have seen a good pullback in this counter. I'm expecting that L&T Mindtree from these levels can see a good rally, decent rally, and it may move towards 5740, 5750 odd levels. With a stop loss of 5,300, one can buy at current levels. Similarly, if we see Axis Bank, means among private sector banks, couple of banking stocks are showing some strength now at low levels. Axis Bank is one of those stocks. It can be bought at current levels with a stop loss of 1125. And on higher side, I'm expecting it may move towards 1195 to 1225 levels.
Okay. The one stock that I wanted to ask Mayuresh about is Ola Electric. Right after new launches and first earnings post listing, it's also got the first buy rating from a brokerage firm. HSBC has initiated coverage with a 140 target price on Ola Electric. You do see a 8% uptick on the stock in the pre-open trade at 119. That's despite the loss widening in Q1. How are you looking at the story unfold, Mayuresh?
I think the story is there. So I think there is no two ways about the story, Sakshi, that there will be new launches. The models and the designs at which Ola is coming out with are also very, very exciting. The price points are also reasonable enough, but there is also competition, and there is they have to comprehend in terms of stock market adjustment, where stock markets will react to numbers at some point of time. So I will wait and watch, Sakshi, with this huge outperformance at the IPO and now after the results. I think the valuations have just gone too much through the roof at this stage.
Okay, the Nifty is still up 190. Let's hope this gap up sustains and at least we close above 24,300. That's very, very critical for Nifty bulls. Let's get Aditya into the conversation. Aditya, your top pick in the pharma space. What looks good and where do you think momentum is likely to be sustained on the long side?
Well, if we see among whole pharma space is looking good. It means we have seen some bout of profit booking from higher levels in last 2-3 trading sessions. But structure-wise, pharma's counters have not deteriorated. They are still looking good. Means if we see Sun Pharma, the stock is trading in a range, but on every dip we are seeing some buying activity in Sun Pharma. Still, Sun Pharma remains our top pick. I'm expecting this stock may move towards 1785, 1790 levels in next couple of trading session. And means risk reward ratio wise, it is comparatively one of the better stocks with a stop loss of 721 can buy. Similarly, Aurobindo Pharma means in the last 2-3 days we have seen a good amount of buying interest in this counter. This stock has a potential to move towards 1580 to 1600. So both Sun Pharma and Aurobindo Pharma looks good among pharma space at current levels.
Okay. The other thing which I'm going to be asking both Mayuresh and Shail is on the M&M new Thar that has launched and the stock with Mayuresh and who else is going to be excited to book the new Thar. So Mayuresh, first to you. And how do you see the opportunity unfold? Already there was a huge booking list for the previous Thar, and for this one there's an expectation that the sales are going to be even higher. There was a long wait from the M&M and Thar enthusiasts, and now that it has come at an attractive price point, do you think there'll be many more people who will be joining the list to buy the new Thar, and that will add on to shine for M&M even further?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I'm pretty sure Shells is going to do that. So I'm going to book a ticket to Delhi. And then there's going to be an off-road trip. I'm pretty sure about that. So, so that is a given. Yeah, but attractively placed. I think the initial response was fabulous. This response should be even better. The variants that are even expected to come through Sakshi in the next few quarters for the existing models and new launches that can come through is going to hold up well. They are realigning their supply chain. Their tractor business is coming back on track because of better monsoons. So yeah, things are coming back to normal. Anybody holding NMNM should continue.
From your red Thar, which already
Mayuresh,
exists.
once you land in Delhi.
I wanted to ask you, Shail, apart from your bright red
Yeah,
Thar
Mayuresh,
that
Sakshi was
I've
saying-
still not had the opportunity to take a ride
Yeah.
on. Are we going to have the ride on both the new Thars then?
No, Sakshi. So I'll enjoy the 5-door Thars huge booking list via the shareholding, and I continue to drive the 2-door Thar. Mayuresh, the time you land in airport, you will find me outside the airport waiting for you. It's a lovely vehicle. I don't know how Sakshi hasn't got a ride as yet. It just beats me, because whenever I come to the office, I come into that one as well, and the entire film city lights up. Lot of people wait for that car to come. I'll send you a video, Mayuresh, in the next 10 odd seconds about what car I drive as far as Thar is concerned. But I'm a very happy shareholder for the last 20 years. Yeah, Mayuresh, you're saying something.
No. So I will buy one as well. Looking at potholes, you'll get an off-road experience in Bombay also.
दिल्ली में ऐसी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. There are no potholes at all. We are very blessed. We respect that and we appreciate that. But Aditya, the long-term charts of M&M. Sakshi, I believe there is a research report that has also come on M&M with a higher target beyond 3,000.
Yes, there's a Morgan Stanley report with an overweight
Aditya,
rating and a
long-term
target
view
price
on
of
M&M.
3,300.
Well, means if we see Mahindra & Mahindra structure-wise chart is very good. Means it has seen some correction, some time-wise, some price-wise correction in last couple of weeks. Stock has again reversed from the support zone of 2550, 2600 levels. So I believe that this stock has a potential to go above 3000 levels very soon. At current levels also it's a good buy. Risk reward ratio is in favor with a stop loss of 2640 one can buy if someone is looking from position perspective, and target on higher side would be 3140 to 3200 levels.
It. Just like how Shail was initially pointing out, I think it is going to be an IT day. 1.4% uptick is what is seen on the Nifty IT, and a lot of these stocks are buzzing away in the pre-open trade. Tech Mahindra, LTI, Mindtree, Infosys, TCS, they're all upwards of over 1.2%, all the way up to 2.5% higher in the initial pre-open trading action. Mayuresh, let's get you to talk about the IT space right now. What is it that you're expecting and how are you approaching the space?
I think it becomes a perfect hedge when markets are volatile, and the large basis of expectations is as the rate cut starts happening in the US context in September, which seems to be a base case scenario. The third quarter where discretionary spending patterns are determined in the Indian context is expected to be a little bit better. So I think as banking, retail, manufacturing start showing signs of improvement in North America as well as Europe, a large part of these segments which were laggards, specifically for large IT companies in terms of their large order wins, should start normalizing. So the markets are now starting to factor in better forecasts as far as the second half is concerned, and therefore the sector should remain.
Right. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the power of a buyback. It is one of the most effective tools deployed by cash-rich companies to make existing shareholders happy by reducing the float. So you deploy cash, which is actually better used in reducing equity. Globally, companies such as Apple, companies such as Google, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, IBM, they do it very regularly at a time when they are super cash rich. Maybe the main business is not doing pretty well, but they deploy cash to reduce the float, increase the EPS, and thereby improving the PE. So keep IT in mind. This is the space which is to watch for over the next 2 odd months before this deadline kicks in. 9:13. Let's get Aditya into the conversation and talk about one counter, which is Bharti Airtel. 0.5% higher, 1480. It has a very strong long-term chart, Aditya. What are the charts of Bharti Airtel telling you?
Well, if we see Bharti, it is trading in a range now after a big bullish move, means the stock is in consolidation phase. And for last couple of weeks, it is not doing anything. So from current levels, it's not a very good buy as upside is very much limited towards 15.10, 15.15. So I will avoid this stock. Yes, if it comes in the range of 14.60, 14.50, it's a good buy. But at current levels means risk reward ratio is clearly not in favor as upside is not that great. So I will avoid Bharti at current levels.
Okay, got it. Since we are asking on the auto space a lot, I also wanted to get a view on Hero MotoCorp as well from the two-wheeler pack. We've actually seen earnings, and thereafter the stock has been hovering in volatile range. There's a BofA Securities report that has a buy rating with the target price that they've slashed to 6,000. Several others have cut the target price to even below that level as well. With the kind of margin miss that we saw in the company, the EV drag that the company has been facing, and the market share recovery is now which is going to be key catalyst. So let me ask you, Mayuresh, Hero MotoCorp from the two-wheeler space, how would you assess?
No, we'll wait and watch. For positive time, I'll just quickly give my comments that the results were a little bit on the lower side, soft, weak. But there is expectation that second up there should be recovery. But I think a lot of movement has happened in terms of price action for a lot of these stocks. So I think it's a good thing that if it's cooling off, there will be better entry points for this stock.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a green tick, 172 points higher on the Nifty. The IT index is 400 points higher, 1.1% uptick. What's really good is the Nifty 500, 183 points higher, 22,855. And of course, the Nifty Bank now starting 400 points higher. For the first 5-second 10 minutes or so, this seems to be looking good. Let's look at the market watch, the 10 most heaviest weighted counters. What are they doing? TCS, top gainer, 1.3% higher, 4352. HDFC Bank, thank God, a tick of green, 15 rupees higher, 1622. Infosys, about a percentage point higher, 1838. And Reliance, 15 rupees higher, 2939. As of now, all 10 index heavyweights are in the green. This is a very, very big plus. What is the most top gainer in F&O stocks? Hindustan Copper is 1.5% higher. Persistent Systems, remember, Buyback, 3% higher, 4914. How about the NSE 500? What are the earnings boys doing? Let's look at okay, for the moment, First Source Solutions 4.8% higher, 304. There's a company called RHI Magnesia. This is a clean maker, 7% higher, 632. This is the top gainer. How about other stocks that make sense? Mahindra and Mahindra 2.3% higher, 2810. Prestige Estates 2.8% higher. What else looks good in the most active list? Okay, it's defense. The second and the third most rated counters initially are Hindustan Aeronautics 1.5% higher, 4729. Mazgaon Dock 2% higher, 5100. What else is ticking in the green? I'd just like to watch what is happening on the pharma space. Glenmark, like I had pointed out, you might just see profit booking because the counter had run up very sharply. So despite a 7x rise in profit to 340 crores in the first quarter, it's down 3% at 1444. This is normal profit booking, nothing to be worried about. In terms of record highs today, there is let's look at some stocks hitting record highs. Colgate and Trent are the two stocks at record highs. Let's get Aditya into the conversation. Aditya, anything that looks good that one must do in this bounce and gap up, or should we just pray?
I think a couple of IT stocks are looking good. Means they have already given a breakout last week. Means in last first trading session of this week we saw good buying, and today we are seeing follow buying. Persistent, as we already means you said persistent. It's look good at current levels. It is trading near its all-time high levels. So I think that persistent is one stock among mid cap IT which can which can outperform the whole IT pack. It can move towards 5250, 5400 levels in next couple of days. At current levels, it's a good buy. I mean, with a stop loss of 4800, also one can buy persistent at current levels.
The metals pack is also shining bright along with the IT space. You have a 1.3% uptick on the metals pack. Stock like Hindalco has moved well. Along with that, there are several other counters like Steel Authority that's up 2.2%, Vedanta and Nalco up both 2% higher. Welspun Corp, that was something that was being highlighted by even Mayuresh, is also up and about. Tata Steel, JSW Steel and Hind Copper, they're all up and about right now. How are you understanding the metal story right now, Mayuresh? Still a lot of cyclicality or anything looks promising?
So two aspects here. One, I think the judgment which has come through in terms of the royalties, I think that might affect a few of these mining companies. Not too sure to what extent. Probably can have an effect in terms of their numbers. And second, obviously, is the China effect. How Chinese supply demand will come back strongly. They're still dumping a lot of these products. You've seen HRC, CRC prices as far as steel is concerned come off quite significantly. A lot of companies who are direct, indirect users of steel as an input cost material as primary source are witnessing some element of end pressures as far as product prices is concerned. And therefore, I think non-ferrous Hindalco is something that stands out and something like a realistic thought, which probably I'm still liking on any pullback.
Almost 920. The Nifty is held on 205 points higher now, 24,350. Again, I hope that we retain this gap up and close above 24,300 as far as markets are concerned today. Sakshi, we'll just take a detour into the broader markets. Advanced decline ratio on NSE is very strong. 1740 shares in the green, 330 in the red. We tracked 19 indices for you, ladies and gentlemen. All 19 of them are in the green. Led by the Nifty Auto Index, 1.5% higher, 25,494. The IT Index, all 10 stocks in the index are up 1.3%, 40,258. The Mid Cap Select Index is 1.3% higher. In the NSE 500, the broadest measure, 430 stocks are in the green. This, ladies and gentlemen, points to how the market and traders are looking at the broader sentiment. PSU stocks, remember, they are the favorites as far as traders are concerned. We track 85 PSU stocks for you. Out of 85, 79 are in the green. They are led by RVNL and Chennai Petro, 3% higher. LIC and PFC, 2.3% higher. RECL, IRCON, SAIL, more than 2% higher. And ONGC, of course, 2% higher. A very quick view from you, Aditya, on ONGC. What are the charts telling you? And then I'll request Mayuresh to give a fundamental view on ONGC.
We remain bullish on ONGC. Means stock has seen a good recovery from 305, 310 levels in last 6 or 7 trading sessions. It has a small resistance in the range of 335, 340. Once that is broken out, stock has a potential to move towards 360, 365 levels. So structure-wise, no negative means no negativity in the stock. At current levels, also one can buy with a stop loss around 324. And on higher side, 360, 365 will be the immediate targets.
Stock that I wanted to discuss.
Very quick one on ONGC.
Yes, sorry.
No, it looks good. So I think two aspects happening here. One, the expected production numbers as far as KG-D6 is concerned is going to be on the higher side. The second aspect is OVL, ONGC Videsh Limited. There is expected assumptions that numbers, both in terms of production and sales volumes, along with stability that you're seeing in price, will create that operating leverage. So better numbers in terms of oil production, better numbers in terms of gas production, stable pricing, better volumes means operating leverage. The third aspect, obviously, dividend of around 3.5% augurs well for the stock itself. And the fourth aspect, in terms of huge investment outlay by the government of India in terms of new blocks, will augur well in the next few quarters as well. So yeah, I think it looks good for more.
Okay, got it. Well, the Nifty is now a percent higher in trade, 250 points higher, 24,394. Strong move across the sectors. All the sectors are up in the green. Autos, IT, media, oil and gas, realty. These are the sectors that are moving the sharply, about 1.5, 1.6% higher in trade. We also have the broader markets like small caps also now picking up. It's about a 1.1% uptick for this one as well. Now, within the F&O space, there's one stock that's been moving sharply higher, and that is PVR Inox, and that is 3.3% uptick that we can see on this one. Aditya, let me come to you. We do see that the 3-2 box office collections have actually broken many records on the Independence Day. So whether it's Shah Rukh Khan's 11-year record, or it's also grossed 7 times more than Akshay Kumar's Khel Khel Mein. Is the stock finally getting its mojo back?
Well, I think yes. Means if we see PVR at lower levels, we are seeing some fresh long position getting built up. Means on declines 1440, 1420. These levels are acting as a very strong buying zone for PVR now. Some resistance is there in the range zone of 1530, 1540. But if we see overall structure wise, I think PVR is moving towards 1580, 1600 levels in next couple of trading sessions. So at current levels also, it's a good buy. Yes, it will take some time. But eventually, I think stock is moving towards 1580, 1600 levels.
Ladies and gentlemen, it will be IT and IT all the way. Look at TCS. I'll request the PCR to fire a long-term chart of TCS. It is 1.8% higher, opened gap up, 43.74. We are at the midpoint of August, so there's no point looking at options because premium will decay further. But a broad consensus, Aditya, what are the charts of TCS telling you? At the moment, the all-time high is 44.24 that we saw on 29th July. What are the chances that it will take that out?
Well, very high probability means structure-wise looking very positive. On weekly charts, if we see stock took, support around 13 exponential, 13 days, 13 weeks exponential moving average. So very strong charts. I'm expecting that this stock will move towards 45, 50, 4600 levels in this series itself. So it's means whole IT pack is looking good. If we see Nifty IT charts are indicating towards move towards 41,200, 41,400 levels. So we can easily see some 2.5%, 3% kind of move in Nifty IT index itself. So overall TCS also looks good. Means after good consolidation, we have seen a breakout on Wednesday. So I'm expecting stock may move towards 45, 50, 4600 levels.
So the IT index is up 1.7%, 680 points higher, 40,400 for you. Sakshi, amongst the 5 top gainers on F&O, the first 4 are IT. Persistent, L&T Technologies, Emphasis and Coforge, all up between 2.9 and 3.3%. And in the first 10, 7 are IT stocks, including Oracle Finance and of course L&T Mindtree, and the 16 IT stocks that we track on F&O, all 16 of them are in the green. Yours?
Okay, got it. Well, we should pull up one stock that Mayuresh had highlighted in his early commentary, Capacite Infra. I think the stock's shot up and it's now about 5.5% higher in trade. It was the real estate ancillary stock that Mayuresh put his bet on, and just today we've actually seen a strong move on this one, 357. Kudos to you, Mayuresh, for picking out this one. Your sense on how should investors be really looking at now?
Wait for pullbacks because I think the numbers were also stellar. And as I mentioned, I think there will be exponential increase in terms of the orders that the company can probably expect. They're executing well. They've got a very decent balance sheet. And therefore, return ratios and cash flows should remain extremely, extremely strong and resilient. Any pullbacks should now be taken as a buying approach.
Okay, any Should be seen as a top buying opportunity. Aditya, anything else that you've caught that we haven't asked you in the initial move? There's been a strong rally even in the PSU stocks now. I do see stocks like even Power Finance Corporation, REC also coming back into the fore, 2.5% each after a long haul again.
Well, we can see some positive traction in PFC from these levels. Means from 465, 470, stock has seen some positive traction, and today we are seeing some sign of short covering in the counter. So it may move towards this resistance zone of 508, 510 levels. Not a very big move, but yes, we can see some 2.5, 3% kind of move from these levels. So for a quick means 1 or 2 days trade, one can look to buy PFC at current levels.
There is no stopping. I think there is a double-digit gain on this one, 11% higher in trade for Ola Electric right now. Too much done too soon already for this one, Mayuresh. Should one be safe from the FOMO right now on Ola?
Yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. Absolutely on target section.
Okay, got it. 11% higher at 122 right now. This is as a reaction to the EV bike launch by Ola. But just like how Marisha said, the stock has already moved up. It's the fourth day running for the stock after the listing. And we've actually seen 2 days of consecutive 20% circuits. Next day, we did see an uptick. It fell back. And today, again, there is a 10% uptick right now on Ola Electric. M&M, 3% higher at 2825. Aditya, let's get your view on M&M now.
Well, M&M means, as already mentioned, we are positive on M&M, and I'm expecting that this stock may go above 3,000 levels in the near future. So, means with little bit of positional perspective, one can continue to add M&M on any declines. Means we are expecting this stock may move towards 3150, 3200 levels.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me highlight earnings winners. Polyplex. This is just running away, 5% higher. We'll discuss the earnings a little later, but I'm just requesting Aditya to take a look on Polyplex. At the moment, 5% higher on the technical charts, 1250. About 6,32,000 shares have been traded. Remember, Polyplex was one of the picks that our very dear friend Mr. Sharad Avasthi had suggested, sub 1,000. So at the moment 1250. Mayuresh, Aditya, what are the charts of Polyplex telling you?
Well, we see Polyplex stock has been downtrend since long, means from 2,900, which was a high in 2022, stock corrected till 800. And from those levels, we are seeing some pullback in the counter. So from the short-term perspective, yes, stocks looks positive. It is moving towards 1,400 level. So from current levels, also 10 to 12% upside is not ruled out. From short to medium term perspective, stocks looks positive, and one can add at current levels also with a target of 1380 to 1400. So we are positive on the counter from short to medium term perspective.
Okay, at 931, Polyplex has shown a 100% rise from its average 5-day volume. So what you see is 6,32,000 shares on a 5-day basis, only 3 lakh shares trade. So please keep that in mind. And here come the earnings. Net profit for the first quarter was 97 crore rupees, compared with a loss of 10 crore rupees in the year ago number, and of course in the fourth quarter. So I am comparing a sequential. The profit was 31 crores. In the first quarter, the profit is 97 crores. So a 3x rise in profit sequentially, and of course moving from loss to profit in the first quarter on year-on-year basis. Please keep this in mind when you look at Polyplex. Mayuresh, before we let you go, Nifty 24,300, it's corrected from 25,074. Do you think the worst is over for the markets, or should we wait for more pain?
So two ways to answer this, Shail sir. I think if the markets do correct for global reasons, it's a good time to start getting into qualitative stocks. Second, whether there'll be a substantial correction or a structural correction or a structural downside for the markets, don't think so. So there is an upside potential for the markets to actually touch all-time highs with all positives around Indian markets. So any correction that comes through for the Indian market should be taken as a buying approach.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much, Mayuresh, for being with us on this very special show. Mayuresh, can I quickly ask you if you had to buy a stock for your sisters or Rakhi, which stock would that be?
It will be a sweetener stock, I think. Praj Industries is the perfect proxy.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great festival ahead and see you very soon back on Market Today and on Business Today television.
Thank you,
Well,
Sakshi.
we'll continue our conversation with Aditya right here now. Okay, within the IT space, especially when we talk about the mid-cap IT front, Aditya, where are you keeping your focus? A lot of these stocks are flying away. Persistent emphasis, Coforge, Oracle Financial, Birla Soft. You did talk about Persistent earlier. Anything else apart from that?
Well, emphasis means if we see emphasis, stocks saw sharp correction from 3100 odd levels to 2550, 2600 levels. And since then, stock for last 8 trading session, it was in a range bound session. Today, with a means a gap, we have seen a breakout. And stock has added almost 2% shares in open interest, which is on long side. So I'm expecting that emphasis may again move towards 2950 to 3050 levels. So we can see a decent up move of 3 to 4% in 4 to 5% in fact in emphasis from current levels. So structure-wise, stocks look good. It was in oversold zone, so we can see some positive traction in this counter. So emphasis for mid-cap IT looks positive from these levels.
Got it. Right now, apart from this also, Aditya, within the PSU pack, the oil and gas story, how are you tracking it? Oil India is now up over 3% higher in trade. ONGC is something that we have already discussed on the show. The OMCs are also buzzing away, BPCL, IOC, HPCL, all three of them upwards of 1.5% each. The oil and gas story, anything looks promising to you?
Well, the whole oil and gas space, be it oil exploration companies or oil marketing companies, looks good. In OMCs, we have already seen a decent correction from peak in last couple of trading sessions. And now we see all the three OMCs, that is IOC, BPCL, HPCL, they are trading near their support zone, and the chances of reversal are quite strong. Now, if we see oil India, stock is in bull trend, clearly bull trend. We saw some correction on Wednesday, but otherwise overall stock structure is quite positive. This stock has a potential to move towards 700, in fact beyond 700 also. So any decline in oil India can be used to initiate long position. And if we see OMCs, HPCL looks positive from current levels, means we are expecting that the stock may again move towards 400, 410 level. BPCL can move towards 360, 365 level. So overall means we are bullish on oil and gas sector, and any dip can be used as a buying opportunity in oil and gas sector.
9:36, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's now the time to take a view on the Sensex and the Nifty. Remember, it's the weekly expiry of the Sensex as well, down 0.65% if you look at the 5-day period before today's opening. Now, Nifty, Sakshi, is accelerating 250 points higher, 1 percentage point uptick. Is this short covering? Of course, we've had strong global cues, but it has seemed sort of pushed bulls out of their sulk. Reliance is contributing 27 points to the green. ICICI Bank is contributing 26 points to the green. Within the Nifty, it is the IT set which is pushing the index higher and higher. You have TCS contributing 25 points, Infosys contributing 21 points. If you look at the advanced decline on the Nifty, in terms of losers, you have just two, HDFC Life and SBI Life, and you shouldn't be worried about them because they are already at record highs, showing minor bouts of profit booking. What are the top gainers? News-led M&M, 3% higher, but it is IT. I repeat, it is IT that is taking the Nifty higher. We have 5 IT companies within the Nifty. L&T Mindtree 2.4% higher, TCS 2.4% higher, Tech Mahindra 2.1% higher, Wipro 2% higher, HCL Tech 1.5% higher, and Infosys 1.2% higher. Remember, buyback. That is what is pushing these gains higher. Now, Aditya, since the first 15-20 minutes have lapsed, what do you think that the Nifty will do? Will the 50 DMA hold? Can we move above 21 EMA today?
Well, Shell, I will still wait for some time. Means if we see Nifty or Sensex, they are trading near their crucial resistance zone. And multiple times in last 8 trading sessions, in fact, 3 times Nifty have tried to breach this resistance zone and they have failed. And they have failed miserably. Means we have seen a gap down opening after that next day of 200 odd point plus in Nifty. So I will wait for Nifty to close above 24,450. If Nifty close above that, then we are straight away seeing a rally of at least 350 to 400 points. In that case, Nifty is moving towards 24,800, 850 odd levels. Similarly, we see Sensex. If Sensex break 80,200 levels and closes above that, then we can see it move towards 81,200, 81,500 levels. So at current levels, I will wait for some more time as we are seeing some bout of profit booking from higher levels in last 15-20 minutes. If we see every time Nifty come towards 24,400, some profit booking signs are there. So I will wait for Nifty to break above that. Then we will give a buy call on Nifty. But at current levels, I will avoid taking call on Nifty or Bank Nifty. In fact, I will go on stock specific or sector specific approach.
Okay, stock specific or sector specific approach, and real estate sector is now buzzing sharply higher. Over 2% of gains can be seen on the Nifty Realty Index. The stocks that are buzzing: DLF 4% higher in trade, Cottage Properties 2.5%, Prestige Estates 2.3%, Oberoi Realty, Macrotech Developers, Brigade, Sobha. These are the stocks that are upwards of 1.5% that we can see across the board, a kind of strong move that can be seen. Real estate space, how are you looking at it there right now? Anything that catches your attention?
Well, DLF looks positive. Means if we see DLF, stock saw correction from 900 odd levels, but on lower side found strong support around 800. Spent some time there, and now we are again seeing some buying interest in this. And today some short covering interest, short covering pullback is there. Its stock has already broken this resistance zone of 849, 850. So I'm expecting its stock can move towards 895, 905 levels in next 1 or 2 trading session. So we are bullish on DLF from current levels, and we are expecting another 5 to 6% move in next couple of trading sessions in DLF.
Got it.
9:40, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at the list of volume buzzers, because that will give you an idea as to where the money is moving in terms of trader interest and also in the green. Needless to say, the first pick is First Source Solutions, 9% higher, and we have 71 lakh shares traded, which is a huge uptick from its average traded volume. There is a company called RIM Magnesia, 7% higher at 637. I'm still unable to find out the reason, but this is showing a very high activity in terms of average traded volume, which is 4.7 times higher. Like I mentioned, Hindustan Zinc, please keep an eye out on this one. The reason why you need to see it is because it sort of is down 5%, but that's the OFS price. But I think Hindustan Zinc has actually recovered very sharply from intraday lows. Let me check what the low was. Okay, yes, the low was 527, and so far it is at 544. Keep an eye out on this one. This is entirely news driven. Now let's look at defense. Sakshi, all of them are in the green. I think Paras Defense announced that it had got an order for 300 crores from Larsen and Toubro. Counter up, limit up 5. You have Astra Micro 4% higher. You have Zentech 3.3% higher. BEML, BEL, Midhani, Mazgaon up about 1.5% each. So this is how it is. In terms of the high beta space, we have Gujarat Pipavav Port 3.3% higher. Remember last week it had come out with a stunning set of numbers, 233.7. You have Schneider Electric 3% higher, 818. All told, the market looks good. The Nifty slipped from intraday highs. It was up 250. It is now just up 190, and the advanced decline ratio is still 700 to 477. Sakshi, yours.
For RHI Magnesia shares, which are up 7.7%, Shell, that you were mentioning, I think the earnings reaction is now coming through. The company reported a net profit surge of over 55% in the June quarter, and that's probably the reason why we have seen an uptick on this stock as well. Let's look at within the other space stocks within the broader markets, what else is moving. Another IT space stock, Sequence Scientific, is up by 6% in trade today within the broader markets. Zaggle Prepaid has been buzzing, recently listed stock that's now up 7.8% higher in trade. Apart from this, we are also looking at Suprajit Engineering, that's buzzing in trade. Subros from the auto ancillary pack is up by 6.5%. Uflex is buzzing in trade. PG Electroplast, that's up by 6.7% higher in trade right now. Anything from these names that attracts your attention, Aditya, where you may be looking at positively too?
Well, among these stocks, I think Sequence Scientific one stock which can show a very good move. Means stock is down from its all-time high of 343 or 45 odd levels, and but yes, we are seeing slow and steady recovery in this counter. It is trading near the resistance zone of 150, 152. Once that is taken out, we can move towards 175 to 200 also. That will be a little bit of positional view. But yes, structure-wise, stocks looks positive. From these levels, if we see, if one is taking a positional view, risk reward ratio is clearly in favor of buyers. We can expect in this stock move of 20-25% initially, and ultimately we're expecting that it may move towards 200 levels in next couple of months.
Railway story is also looking strong right now. RVNL is up by about 3.7% higher in trade. IRCTC is up by over 1.1%. Railtel is up by over 2.5%. Then let's look at Titagarh Rail also to see if that one is also moving up. 0.2% of an uptick. Let's look at JWL if that has moved up about a 0.5% uptick for this one. Railway story, what looks good to you even now, Atya?
I will avoid these counters as of now. Means if we see they are slightly in downtrend, and it means every pullback we are seeing some profit booking sign in these stocks. Yes, it means we see some 1 or 2 days buying interest, but again at higher levels some profit booking is clearly visible. So I'm expecting more of consolidation in these stocks from current levels. So it's clearly not a buy. Means we will see. I mean, I'm expecting some more gradual correction in these stocks rather than some uptick. So clearly, railway is not a sector to enter at current levels. In fact, if we are talking about sector rotation, so instead of railway, I think oil and gas and IT, these are the two other sectors in which people can shift.
(9:46), ladies and gentlemen, the first half an hour of trade has lapsed and the last 15 minutes are mild profit booking on the Nifty. Remember, it rose gap up about 180 points higher, and then from then on it climbed by another 70 points. So the intraday high is 24,400, where it has encountered selling not only on the weekly FNO space but also the monthly options chart, where 24,400 is a major resistance. At the moment, let us see whether 24,300 will be held or not. But so far the first half an hour has been pretty good. Now what else is moving in terms of top gains? Okay, I can't take my eye off TCS, now 2.5% higher. Now the energy space has started to click in with the strength. So all three OMCs are in the green. BPCL 2% higher, 332. IOC 1.9% higher, 166.90, and HPCL 1.8% higher, 380.7. We have now a strong move coming into stocks such as RVNL. Sakshi just pointed that out for you, but let me just see what volume is coming into RVNL. Remember, in the rail space, RVNL is the highest beta counter. So RVNL is up 4.7%, and we track 27 railway companies for you, which includes all Sarkari companies, all wagon makers, all equipment makers, And Sakshi, all 27 are in the green, led by Carnex 5% as usual, Rose 5% बढ़ता है, low liquidity, that's the reason. RVNL 4.8% higher, Railtel, Ircon, Texrail all up between 2.5%, 3%. A favorite here, Aditya, in the PSU railway space or just the railway space? What looks good to you?
Well, in railways means sector, nothing as of now. I will avoid this sector. Means I'm expecting more of means sideways consolidation for next couple of weeks or months in this sector. We can see some 5-10% move in RVNL. It may move towards 615, 620, but around those levels again we will see a sharp profit booking pressure as a lot of players are stuck around those levels. But otherwise, more or less, if we see other railway stocks, be it Railtel, IRCTC, they are seeing a lot of profit booking at higher levels and continuously they are making lower lows. So I will avoid making fresh long position in railway stocks as of now, and I will advise to shift from railways to other sector.
Okay. Got it. So we'll avoid the railway space for now is what Aditya is saying. Let's look at some more movers at this point in time. Remember, the markets are all up and about right now. The only index that's down in the red is India VIX. That's down by 3.5% at 14.9 levels. So comforting levels there. But we are definitely seeing profit booking at higher levels that Aditya has mentioned. From 250 odd point gains, we are now at 190 odd point of gains. IT, realty, auto, these remain as the front running sectors at this point in time. And apart from this, some of the other pharma majors that are also pulling up. Apollo Hospitals is the one that is also finding its place among the top movers on the Nifty right now. It's 2.3% higher in trade. A lot of pharma story stocks have been discussed already. Apollo Hospitals, does that interest you?
Well, looks interesting. Means if we see Apollo Hospital means very positive chart. Stock has some resistance in the zone of 67, 80, 6800 levels. But once that is taken out, means we are very bullish on the stock. I'm expecting that it may move towards 7,500, 8,000 also in next 6 to 8 months. So overall structure is quite positive. It is in consolidation phase right now, facing some resistance around 6,800 levels. But we here are quite bullish on Apollo Hospital, and we are expecting that this stock may move towards 7,500 and 8,000 levels.
Okay, got it. So that's the move that's coming in on the pharma space. The other space that I wanted to discuss is the entire capital markets focused stocks. Now, Aditya, 361 WAM is up another 5% in trade today. I just wanted to ask you, are you keeping an eye out on some such stocks? Geojit Financial Services is also higher in trade. Let's also pull up Nuvama for our viewers, Angel One, BSE, CDSL, these kind of stocks, to find if there is any kind of a momentum that one can really look at. What looks good, Aditya?
Well, I think 361 looks good, and similarly CDSL looks good. Both these stocks are looking good. In fact, CDSL is trading at new all-time high levels. Structure-wise, no negative in this stock. Any dip in this stock is being bought into 2,300, 2,250 was a very strong support. Means multiple times stock tested those levels. And from those levels, we have seen a very good move in this stock. On higher side, it has a potential to move toward 2,850, 2,900. So at current levels also means risk reward ratios clearly in favor. One can buy at current levels. Similarly, we see 361 WAM, then again means 1,980 was a very strong support from those levels. After consolidation for 7-8 days, today's stock has given a breakout with decent volumes. On higher side, it can move towards 1150, 1180 levels. So both these stocks, that is 360 and CDSL, looks good from current levels.
Right, just a note on CDSL, this is going to be X bonus fairly soon. The record date has been set, which is somewhere post August 20th. So you will see hectic activity in this one. Normally, what we have seen in high beta stocks such as CDSL is that the market pushes them up to a certain point. And Aditya has mentioned those levels in the short term, maybe 2750, 2800, and then the stock goes X bonus. 1:1 is what is going to happen on CDSL. Please keep an eye out on this one as well. Sakshi's pointed out Apollo Hospitals for you, 3% higher, 6708. I just can't take my eyes off IT. Let's just look at L&T Mindtree, 3% higher, 5490. This is the latest one, and of course there is no stopping the modest but continuous rise of Paytm, 2% higher today at 549. Sweetening the market is Balrampur Chini, 514, 2.2% higher. Let me just check whether this is just Balrampur Chini in the sugar space, or is it the entire sector. Remember, ethanol blending for diesel is in the pipeline, and the maximum amount of ethanol is produced only by sugar makers. It's across the board, Sakshi. We track 33 sugar companies, just 3 are in the red. You have Balrampur Chini 2% higher, Awadh Sugar 2% higher, 650, Dalmia Sugar 391, 1.7% higher, and of course Triveni 1% higher, 411.45. Remember, all those companies that make equipment for sugar industries are also in the green, led by Praj Industries 702. This is something that just now Mayuresh has highlighted, and another company called ISGEC, ISGEC, 3.2% higher, 1403. It is the maker of sugar plants, doing extremely well. Sakshi.
It's 5 minutes remaining for the markets. We have to wind up this morning edition for you. Right now we have actually seen the Nifty slip about 0.4% from the day's high level already, and the Nifty Bank slip about 0.6% in trade within the 45 minutes of trade that has unfolded in front of us as of now. But all the sectors are still holding up, even though the pharma index is just about 0.1% high in trade. So across the board we are seeing some profits being shaved off from the higher levels in trade. Let's get Aditya's view right here. With this kind of profit booking at the higher levels, how do you expect the day to pan out now, Aditya, and what would your suggestion be?
Well, I think today it will be a positive day. Means I am not expecting a negative close. Probably if Nifty corrects another 30-40 points, it will be a good buy. Means if Nifty futures comes around 24,300, one can look to make an intraday long positions. Means I'm expecting that Nifty will close somewhere in the range of 24,380, 24,420 odd level. So today it will be a positive day. Yes, we will see some bout of profit booking like this. Means all the players who are stuck in for last couple of days, they will like to book profit. But I think this is a good trading session. Means another 30-40 points correction, it will be a buying opportunity in Nifty.
Okay, got it. So let's start wrapping up the morning market trade now for viewers. IT sector holds on to that 2% higher mark right now. Realty sector also about 2% up. Autos about 1.3% higher in trade as the top moving sectoral indices. We are also seeing the PSE index up by about 0.8%. The top moving stocks on the Nifty are LTI Mindtree now 3% higher in trade. Apollo Hospitals up 3%. Tata Consultancy Services 2.5% higher. M&M, Wipro, Tata Motors as the other top movers as far as the Nifty is concerned. You do have about 8-9 stocks that are lower in trade. HDFC Life, for instance, is down by 1.4%. SBI Life, Titan, Asian Paints, Bharti Airtel, Bajaj Finance. These are the top drags on the Nifty. Within the PSU space, Oil India is up by 2.5%. Steel Authority, PFC, BPCL, HPCL, LIC. These are the stocks that are still hovering higher in trade. Within the F&O space, you have Emphasis, DLF, L&T Technology Services, LTI Mindtree as the top movers. While on the downside, you have stocks like Aurobindo Pharma that's now down 3.6% in the F&O space. Max Financial Services down 4%. You have ICICI Prudential Life and Ipca Laboratories as the ones that are dragging. India Wix now about 2.3% lower, back above those 15 odd levels. So we'll keep a keen eye out on that as well. Starting to wrap up the markets. Anything else, Shail, that you want to highlight?
Yes, Sakshi, I think we'll keep on top of our focus all brokers and allied stocks such as CDSL on the charts. Look at MCX, the counters surged 2.8%, 4504. CDSL is taking it away, 4.7% higher, 2682. Am I getting CDSL somewhere else apart from record highs? And of course, you've highlighted Motilal Oswal 361. Let me just see whether this is a sectoral trend. We track brokers and wealth management companies otherwise as well. Okay, CDSL is up 4.4%, K Fintech is up 2.7%, IIFL Securities is up 3.2%, and a string of green on HDFC, AMC, BSE, CAM Services, Geojit Financial Services. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. As far as markets are concerned, we've had a good opening. Still, Nifty is above 24,300, but slowly the gap up is getting either profit booked or sold into in terms of option selling at 24,400. Will this continue? Only time will tell. But the story of the day is the IT space, 40,486 for the Nifty IT index, 1.9% higher, 755 points, and out of those 755 points on the IT index, TCS has contributed 355 points. Remember buyback, that improves shareholder value, and of course that's in the pipeline as far as a lot of IT companies are concerned. Sakshi, yours.
All right, we'll thank you, Aditya, at this note. Thank you so much for being with us on this
Thanks a lot,
special edition
Sakshi.
and sharing
Thanks,
all your thoughts and ideas with our viewers. Wrapping up at that, 24,300 right now on the screens for you, 160 points higher in trade. We'll have to just see if the day holds on to that level and above that 24,300 mark as well. About a 0.6% of an uptick now on the Nifty and almost 0.4% of an uptick on the Nifty Bank as well at 49,933. We'll continue to track market momentum for you through the course of the day. So stay tuned with us on Business Today Television. With that, at least on the morning edition of Market Today, it's a wrap from both Shail and me. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Joining us today on the show is a special guest, Mr. Narendra Taneja. Not only is he an energy expert, but he holds a very strong grasp on how geopolitical situations are changing in the Middle East and of course in the US. Namaste Narendra ji, a very warm welcome to you, sir. We'll start with the turmoil that is being faced by a lot of listed Indian corporates in the Middle East. A lot of costs have gone up, especially on the container side. Inventories are building up, and now we have this overhang of a possible escalation in the crisis between Israel and Iran. How do you see the